So today I'll be talking about my entrepreneurial journey and if I will do it over again, what mistakes I will avoid and how will I make it better. I am Melon, co-founder here at the Melrich Studio. We started Melrich Studio in 2009. We started photography and videography, and our first wedding we did in 2009 was our friend's wedding. And then our first paid wedding, we covered it in India when a couple here in Dubai saw our work, liked our work, and decided to bring us and fly us to India. And that's where we started our storytelling journey. I have a couple of businesses. One is our production company, the Melrich Studio, and the other one is Olivia Pearls, which is a 1-year-old company where you say like that's two different businesses, right? So the Olivia Pearls is similar to Melrich Studio because for me, we tell stories through pearls, and all our pearl jewelry has a story behind it. Because you know what? A pearl jewelry is not just a statement, it is a story. Like how pearls are created from living things that live in an oyster, and you won't know what will come out. You won't know what color it will be or what shape or form, if it's gonna be perfect. Now, going back to my pain point, my entrepreneurial journey. Entrepreneurship is not easy. It's hard. There are a lot of sleepless nights, hard work, and it's not like, you own your free time. A lot of people think like, wow, entrepreneurship, you have your own free time. You can go anywhere you like. You don't have to go to work. If you want to, you have a lot of money. Those are all myths, right? Entrepreneurship doesn't mean you have a lot of money unless your business is successful. And even if you see a successful business, it doesn't mean that they did not put a lot of hard work behind it. There's a lot of investment behind it. So today, I'll be talking about the mistakes. This is now the bottom of the iceberg. I'm going to talk about the part of the iceberg that you don't see, and it is the hard, ugly truth behind entrepreneurship. And these are the mistakes some people will try to avoid talking about. But I'm here going to talk about the mistakes that I did when I was first starting the business. And I want to share them with you because hopefully you can avoid those mistakes. So mistake number 1, trusting the wrong people. So one of the first mistakes that we had when we were opening a business in 2008, photography and videography was not that business. We wanted to open a restaurant business and a home furnishing business. My background is interior design. I was working already with a furniture company here in Dubai, and my background was going to help me curate the pieces that will be displayed or that will be sold in that business. I trusted a business partner who I thought was to be trusted. She was my landlady. I lived with her for 2 years before getting married or moving out. She was working as a head accountant in a company, in a construction company, and so I thought I knew her. So my mistake was when we were opening a business, she heard about it. She said like, I would love to be a partner, a business partner. I would also invest money in your business and we'll be business partners, like it's going to be equal shares. Mistake is I did not really like put everything on paper, or I just blindly trusted her because I thought she was older than me. She has more experience in money than me because she has a background in accounting and finance. So result, she ran away with our about 600,000, more than 600,000 dirhams worth of investment. And that investment is not even our money. We borrowed that money from the bank. So that's one of the lessons. If I'm going to do it over, I would have not trusted her with that business. I would have not trusted her with that money. I would have first researched, got feedback from other people. According to Proverbs 12:15, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listens to advice. So I learned this the hard way. I should have asked people. I should have first checked. I should have not gone into business partnership without knowing the person well. And now I'm very careful now with the people I trust, people, team members. But now when it comes to business partnership where there's a lot of money involved, I'm really very careful of whom I trust do a lot of background checks, and that's the mistake that I'm going to avoid. Mistake number 2, rushing decisions. So when I quit my job in 2014, I was like, whoa, now I'm jobless. I quit my area visual manager job. It was a really good job with stable salary. I was working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Well, 9 to 6 actually. 9 to 6, Monday to Friday. And then I was shooting events on weekends and editing that work on after work, So there's just practically zero time for myself and almost zero time for my family. So I said, I have to choose one or the other, my full-time job or start my own business, So I decided, I prayed, got a sign that says, quit my job because we got a big project. It was worth my 3-month salary. So decided to quit the job and focus on business. You might wondering, where's the mistake there? So the mistake was when I quit my job, I needed to apply for a trade license. I do not have connections, business connections. I do not have business mentors. So what I did is I looked through the newspaper, saw someone offering business setup for 36,000 dirhams. So called that number, met that person. They showed me the virtual office, which is going to be just a virtual desk. They said they'll give me the jari and they'll open the business and everything. So paid them the 36,000, but they later on said oh, there's issue here, issue there. Oh, we cannot release the trade license. Oh, you have to sign this. In the end, I paid about 87,000 because I rushed that decision. I did not do my due diligence again. So lesson learned this time is that before you trust someone, before you make a decision, is think about it carefully, weigh your options, explore other options, and an informed decision. Do not rush it. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do and He will establish your plans. Now, before I make a major decision, hiring, making a very big investment, or buying something that it will involve a lot of money, or making decisions in the office, I do pray about it first. So that's very important now that for me, I make sure I sleep over it, avoid rushing decisions, avoid people who keeps rushing you to make decisions. So it's very important to think about those decisions. So if I'm going to do it over again, I would have saved a lot of money again in opening a business if I just did not rush it. Mistake number 3 is related to mistake number 2, and it's that not seeking enough guidance. So now I've learned my lesson. I have a business mentor. I'm surrounded by a community of entrepreneurs. BNI is my community. I've been a member of BNI for now 8 years. This is where I get also advice, get reliable suppliers from. But that time, like I said, I was by myself. I was starting a business and I made a ton of mistakes. If I'm gonna do over that time when I was starting business, I would have first joined BNI. I would have first looked for a group of entrepreneurs who have been there, done that. I would have not trusted my own wisdom and strength. If I'm gonna do it over again, I would have looked for people who have been successful, who have been there, and I would have not been afraid to ask for their help or ask for their guidance. A lot of entrepreneurs starting a business would have done the same. Would have done the same, that they would think that they know it all, they would not ask for anyone's help, and they will make a lot of mistakes too. And some of them, those mistakes could have been avoided. A lot of money could have been saved. A lot of time could have been saved if, like me, we could have just asked for guidance. Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. So it's important that you seek wisdom from a community or ask someone advice. A lot of successful entrepreneurs out there will not be even think twice giving you an advice to help you. That's the good thing about successful entrepreneurs. Majority of them will give advice for free if you ask them how they can. If you're starting a business, they'll be happy to help you out. I'll be very happy to help anyone out if someone asks me, and I'm happy to give this advice. Mistake number 4 is trying to be perfect. So I was always behind the camera when I started business 2009. Yes, I really do not want to be in front of the camera, and this is something that I should have gotten over myself. I should have been more out there. Now, a couple of years back, putting myself out there, from building my own personal brand. And you know what? It really did not matter if I was perfect or because people want authenticity. Perfect is not relatable. So the reason I was trying to stay behind the lens and, not be on the spotlight to promote my business is because I thought I needed to be perfect. And now my mindset has changed, and it's important for me to talk about my story, to tell my story to the world, to talk about my business, and it doesn't have to be, and I don't have to be perfect. So that's the mistake. If I would have done over again, I would have built my own personal brand earlier, and I would have not worried about if I look good, if I speak great. So yes, it doesn't matter as long as you're true to your core values, as long as you're true to yourself, and as long as you have good intentions. So those are the mistakes that I have done before when I was starting business. And if I would have done it over, I would have avoided those mistakes. But you know what? Entrepreneurship, mistakes are part of it. You have to learn to fail forward, learn from the lessons, and of course, better if you learn from others' mistakes, right? Better not to commit those mistakes. But now, whenever I make a mistake, I make sure to reflect on the mistake, what lessons I can learn from it, and how I can avoid it in the future. I'm a big proponent of journaling and writing things down. So for me, it's important to write things down, write those mistakes and what lessons you have learned, for you to remember them and for you to look back and see how God has been faithful to you and has provided, saved you. There's a lot of mistakes I have made, but God helped and pulled me out of those wells or pits that I have dug for myself. And I'm just thankful and grateful for where I am now. I am not as big as an iceberg as, like those successful businesses. But what I am truly thankful and grateful for is that I made the mistakes and I walked with God, and I saw how God has provided for me through the years, financially, spiritually. I learned those lessons, and for me, those lessons are more important than any wealth can buy. And one of my favorite verses is Romans 8:28. In all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Mistakes are part of the plan. Mistakes is part of life. But you know what? Even though we made mistakes, God has great plans for us. God will. And that doesn't mean that when we talk about great plans, that doesn't mean we'll be ultra successful with the mansion, 5 million. Good things can also come in good family, good friends, time for yourself, peace, and of course, being able to serve others. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you got inspired, and I hope you have learned something from the mistakes that I made. And if you did, please hit the like button below, do subscribe, and see you for more. Ciao, ciao, ciao!